and welcome back everyone, welcome back to the quarterfinals of ESL Open Cup Asia 210. We are here with a ZvZ, and quite a ZvZ at that, as spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Hardlead we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the other South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Mystery Gaming. It is SHIN. Here we go. The ZvZ is upon us, and honestly, this could go either way. Both players are terrifying in their own right. SHIN and Dark are some of the best Zerg players in all of South Korea, alongside Solar. I would say they are top 3, and we'll see how this does unfold here. In a mirror matchup, anything can happen. Upsets do occur. On paper, I would say that Dark is the stronger player overall when it comes to a ZVP and a ZVT, but specifically when we talk about ZvZ, this is a lot more close. This is a lot more up in the air. We have seen Dark fall to players like DRG in the past. We've seen him fall to SHIN as well. We'll see. We'll see how this all comes together here. But now, Hatchgas Pool. Hatchgas Pool opener here out of Dark. Likewise, Hatchgas Pool out of SHIN. The openers are very much so standard, and we're loading into Hardlead. Hardlead has a very short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored, whether it's Ling Bane aggression or Roach Ravager. You can be very much so in the face of your opponent, and we'll see if our players embrace the aggressive nature of this map in the mid-game. I don't expect anything to happen early on, other than taking a third, getting a Baneling nest, droning, everything should be looking normal initially, but once we work towards our third base, then we can see if anyone rushes out a wave of Lings and rushes into an early Roach Warren and goes into Roaches early on as well, or goes for a +1 Carapace. There are options here to be aggressive and to cut corners and to cut drones. Here we go, Lings are going to be slipping out. Going for a bit of a scout across the map. Likewise, so is SHIN. Both players going to be scouting each other. Third base is on the way, has been spotted by Dark, and third base also on the way, has been spotted by SHIN. Now, Dark did opt to take the forward base, so a bold move out of Dark. It's a little bit more exposed, but it is closer to your opponent. It does launch your creep a little bit faster across the map as well, if we did want to be aggressive. As our third bases are taking a number of hits. Chipping away at them. Baneliness are on the way here for both players as well. Ling speed in production. And Lings are amassing for both players as well. Just a handful of Lings to begin with. Just going to be a handful of Lings. As I spoke too soon, SHIN is going to be doubling down a little bit more. He's got 10 Lings on the way to help support. But only 10. As we are joining from there. Here we go, Ling speed does kick in 1 second faster for Dark, so we get some extra hits in. Tries to go for a scout, does confirm the Baneling nest, and does get the hell out of there. So Dark, he does pull back. Banelings are in production, back at home defensively for Dark, and both players, they throw down their Roach Warrens very early, and they get scouted! Big scout here from SHIN, he does confirm the Roach Warren. Meanwhile, Dark is unaware of the Roach Warren of SHIN, so SHIN has a little bit more information that he's working with. Outside of that, though, both players are mirroring each other. Drone counts are pretty similar. Pretty similar to each other. Both players are amassing Ling Bane. Just a handful just for map control. We shouldn't be overly aggressive here. As SHIN is going to poke in. Ooh, does bait out of bed. Baits out 2 Banelings. A big slip up there by Dark. A little bit of his control. Losing some of those Banelings. Meanwhile, Roaches are amassing back at home for both players as well. SHIN with momentum is going to push in. Speaking of, we have Banelings waddling across the map as well from Dark. Dark wants to try to force his opponent to back off. Up! Banelings try to connect, and alas, it looks like they barely won't. Means they move out. Roach as well. Trying to force Dark back. And Dark is making Roaches, but he's also squeezing out some drones. He's squeezing out as many workers as he can. as he can. As here we go, Shin cutting workers at 42, so is Dark. Both players cutting workers at the same time. Both players amassing roaches. Oh, we are a little bit supply blocked. Shin, sorry, Dark, a bit of a stronger supply block for him though. A harder supply block. Aye, stuck at 74. There we go, he's trying to catch up, but that may just kill him. As Shin is able to be the one to spend his resources a little bit faster there. Amassing more roaches. Dark investing into drones. Uh-oh. Dark is droning. Shin is not. Shin is going for one big push with roaches, lings, and banelings. Shin going all in. At the same time, Dark waddling in with a couple of banelings, but there's barely any saturation. And now he knows. Now he knows what's going on. Back at home, can he defend though? The numbers are working against him. Shin making a massive wave of banelings. And this is it. This is going to be the fight of the game. Shin, he's up 20 army supply. Can Dark pull off a miracle? Can he survive? Banelings, they do waddle in. Lings, they do threaten the mineral line as well. Banelings, they crash into the roaches. Big connections. Roach is going to be going down as Shin, he butts into the mineral line as well, and he's snowballing out of control. He's getting on top of the army. He is breaking through on top of the army. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. So many drones go down, and we are getting on top of the queens. Again, Dark, he droned up 10 extra workers than his opponent. And the reality is, in a mirror matchup in a ZvZ, if you drone up a little bit too much, even 10 workers, that can kill you. That can just straight up kill you here. Shin is doing a critical amount of damage. He's going to be forced back here at the natural, but he gets a full surround, and that's going to be a kill on the third base. The reinforcements, they did more than enough. Shin from here, he can back up, he can regroup, and he's going for another surround. Does catch down with the Biles. The Biles connect as well. GG gets called, and Shin will take game number 1. GG. Again, a very chaotic game there, and it did all come down to that moment when both players were pretty even. Even with the supply block, both players were still pretty even overall, but Dark, he chose to drone. He chose to start saturating his third. And remember, he even invested into that bailing run by. He went for the bailing water by at the third base, and that's the moment. That was the moment when he realized, oh, you don't have any drones. There's nothing for me to kill, Papi. There's just nothing here. There was nothing there, and with that, Shin was able to snowball out of control with his own army, was able to break through, was able to take game number 1. But that was merely game 1, and I expect this series to go back and forth. I expect us to have quite a bit more of a back and forth between these two players. Let's go. Also, I apologize. I do have to fix the casting tool here because Dark was on CranKy Gaming. He does have DKZ as his in-game name, but he is teamless. Dark is currently teamless, and here he is in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing himself as he is currently a free agent. If you follow Dark on Twitter, you would have seen that he did today. As of today, he left his team. His contract did expire. He is a one-man army. He's on his own, looking to fight back. It is Dark. Spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have someone going for a 12 pool. Oh my! Leading the series 1-0, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Mystery Gaming. It is Shin. Here we go. So a 12 pool out of Shin, a very aggressive build here from Shin. The way this works is he's going to be amassing lings, he's going to be sending them across the map, and he's looking for drone kills. There are variations of this where you pull the boys. There are all-in variations where you pull the boys and you go for like proxy, like spine crawlers, like a spine rush. But I imagine this should just be lings into an expansion. This should be a more, yep, there we go. This should be the macro version of this, and we are expanding behind this. So with this opener, again, Shin, he's looking for some drone kills. He is not looking to end the game. 12 pools are macro builds here. It's just a way to get some economic damage early on, and then you transition into 2-base roach. Traditionally, you transition into 2-base roach. You can go like 2-base muta or 2-base, just 2-base. But 2-base roach is typically the way to go. The reason why it is 2-base roach is because no gas. No gas is here for the Zerg player. Dark is ahead tech-wise. He's going to have faster link speed, faster bailings. So after the aggression subsides, Shin has to wall off. He does have to wall off at the natural with Evo chambers with a Roach Warren. Meanwhile, Lings have arrived. Going to be applying pressure to this natural base, and Dark has to pull the boys. He cannot allow this base to go down. And now it's all about the drone control. Dark has to make sure he doesn't lose too many workers. Oh. So far, so good, but 2 drones go down. Uh-oh. 2 workers go down already. A good start for Shin. And he wants another. He gets a third. Gets a 3rd worker. Can he get a 4th? These drones are getting very low. Shin, he wants a 4th drone if possible, and he will get one. 4 workers going down is quite a lot of damage, to be honest. It is already quite a lot. 5 drones. And can he get a 6th? Not quite. But this was a lot of damage sustained here by Dark. Dark, he holds. But suddenly, Shin is up. Shin is up in workers. He has 17, 18 workers compared to the 15 of Dark. Shin did enough damage. He was able to do enough across the map. Now he's triggering a counterattack, but Shin has queens to defend. Shin should have enough. It's going to be on Dark to try to bypass these queens and get into the mineral line. Yeah, they're going for the drones. Well, they're going for the queens, actually. Bold move here by Dark. Trying to get us around to these queens, and the boys are being pulled. Good control out of Shin overall. Able to hold on, able to pull the workers when need be. And Shin does defend. Now, from here, Shin's gas is going to be delayed. We're going to be droning up heavily and walling off. As we mentioned, the upside for Dark is that he should have a faster 3rd. He should be able to take a faster 3rd base. He should have better production. Meanwhile, Shin has a slightly better economy. There it is. 2 base Roach should be on the way. I say should be. This could be a fake out. We could still go into a fast lair into Spy. Like Shin, if he wanted to be spicy, he could go into Mutaplay. Could go into Mutaplay. As behind this, we do see Dark just droning up, trying to saturate his bases, trying to recover here from the damage that was dealt. Again, Dark is playing catch up. Now with the faster gas, he's going straight into lair. I do like this. So basically, Dark is aware that 12 pools lead into 2 base Roach, so he is skipping link speed. We're skipping link speed entirely. We're going straight into lair, straight into Roach play. You have to cut these corners if you're Dark to catch up, just because he knows that he did take a lot of damage. Meanwhile, so is Shin. Obviously, because Shin is playing 2 base Roach. He's skipping link speed, going into a lair. And should be working on +1 range, but again, we'll keep our eye on Shin to see if he does deviate. There it is. +1 range is on the way. 3rd base soon to be taken from both players. Oh, again, Dark's 3rd is a little bit delayed here. It's actually at the same time of Shin's. So Dark doesn't have that 3rd base advantage. That's a little bit worrisome. A bit worrisome for Dark. Gonna be applying some pressure. He does confirm the 1 upgrade on the way. He's got his own +1 range on the way as well. Everyone gets taken out. Now, as the dust does settle, I do want to give the edge to Shin. I do think that Shin, has a slightly better economy, and he's going to be able to get into a slightly better position, but these are slight advantages. For the most part, Dark, he's keeping up. For the most part, Dark is able to keep up here. And just focusing on Roach production himself. It was really important that Dark did skip link speed to make this happen, just to make sure he's as efficient as possible. Overseer Scout comes in. He does confirm the Roaches. Shin gets behind the mineral line, and he is looking for a Spire, and he sees nothing in the main base. Technically, there could be a Spire in the natural, but for the most part, Shin should be feeling pretty secure. So we are amassing Roaches. We are going to be amassing Roaches behind this. Both players cutting workers at around 44, 46. And we're just focusing on Roach production. Overlord's going to be hunted down. Again, Dark basically on 2 base saturation, so is Shin. And neither player is saturating their 3rd. Their 3rd bases are barren. We have Dark with 2 workers here at the 3rd, so a little bit greedy here from Dark, but he's getting away with that greed. He's got 5 more drones on the way. Hopefully Dark doesn't drone up too much, because Shin is pushing. And there we go, Dark does scout. He scouts the all-in that's coming across the map. SHIN and Cutting Workers at 44. And it's nothing but Roach Ravager. SHIN just making a massive army. SHIN, he's up in army supply as well. The Biles, they force back the Roaches here of Dark. Dark doesn't have any Ravagers. No Ravagers defensively. Just pure Roach. A good Concave though. Solid Concave there out of Dark. The Queens are waddling on forward as well. SHIN, does he have enough? Can he barely break through? Oh, it's so close. It is so close. The Biles forcing Micro. The Queens are going down. SHIN barely pushing through, but we have reinforcements on the way. Dark does have the defender's advantage. Still waiting for some of those Biles to be thrown down. Catching some of those eggs. Good Biles there out of SHIN, and it looks like SHIN, does he have enough? He needs reinforcements. One Ravager goes down. Two Ravagers. Good target firing out of Dark. Very good target firing, but again, Dark, he did drone up a little bit too much there. And this hatchery, it's gonna go down. GG gets caught. SHIN, he breaks through, catches Dark once again, being a little bit too greedy. And SHIN takes the 2-0. GG. GG, well played. A solid win there out of SHIN. Again, Dark, he squeezed out some extra workers. He had 5 workers over his opponent. And again, these small things can make the biggest of differences. Not just that, it wasn't just the extra workers, but it was also the fact that SHIN was in a better position going into the mid game. We spoke about how much worker kills he got, and it was too much, and it did give him a nice boost getting into that 2-base all-in. So SHIN, he was in a good position from there. Was able to get into the 2-base all-in, and Dark just was not able to recognize what was happening in time. He saw the all-in in the center of the map, but by that point he had already invested in drones, and he already was just a little bit underprepared. If he had seen it a little bit earlier, then we would have seen spines. Spine crawlers would have been thrown down. I imagine multiple, like I'm talking like 2 spine crawlers there with those extra drones that he had. The Queens would have been in position, the Roaches as well. Dark was overwhelmed, and SHIN advances on to the semi-finals. The first player to advance on, and now we have to try to find another series. Here we go.